Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York team has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Chicago is one of the top media markets in the country, so it makes some sense. But I got to tell you, Philadelphia, not far behind. Cleveland, Ohio, not far behind. I would guess that precedent is now set.
They now would be paying, based on the last 12 months numbers, they'd be paying an additional $81.6 million in taxes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And welcome. It's InGame Live PrimeTime on a terrific money-making Tuesday. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next 2 glorious hours, right up until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, watching and, more importantly, betting on the world of sports. Ah, yes, Dave, we got baseball tonight taking center stage. A couple of WNBA games. We might put a couple of sprinkles on. We'll preview the Hockey Stanley Cup Finals, which gets underway Saturday. NBA season, believe it or not, is not over. There is still a finals to be played. It's been about a year and a half since we've seen an NBA game, but that will resume on Thursday. So we'll finally maybe, talk a little NBA preview. We got Black Clouds. We got same-game parlays. We got guests. We got it all. What's going on, my friend? How are you tonight?
We got a lot of stuff. And yes, it's been a few days. You always over-exaggerate those things, how long it's been. But it does feel like a long time since the Celtics swept the Pacers and the Mavericks took care of the Timberwolves in 5 games. So, yeah, we got basketball. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. What do you think of the Yankee garb? I know you call them the Stankies, but they are the best team in baseball. So I had to get, a little bit riled up. The Twins coming to town. Can't be any easier, can it? I mean, they own the Minnesota Twins for years.
Yeah, they really do. There's probably not an easier bet when you consider what you have to lay. I'm sure there'll be a 400-1 favorite, minus 4-1 favorite, but, it's kind of swallow your pride when you do that. But as far as, having a decent number, 2 decent teams, it is true. I mean, they just don't lose to Minnesota. I mean, the Twinkies become the Twinkies. They really do. I don't know what it is, some psychological thing, something, who knows what, but they never beat the Stanks, and they're trailing 3-0 again today. So what else is new? But I must be a little disappointed in the outfit, though. Did you have to really? You turn it on me that fast?
I mean, the boys like it, and I kind of like it. I mean, I don't break it out very often, but it's really the only team left in New York to cheer for, right? Because the Rangers are done, right? And everybody loves a winner in New York. I mean, the kids under 25 wouldn't know because it's been that long since a team from New York actually won anything. It's been a long time. We talked about it on Bostonian versus the Book. Peralt said it was about 100 sports seasons combined since a team has won a championship in New York. So I said, well, all right, we'll put the Ranger jersey away. The Ranger hat's been put away until next hockey season. We'll worry about that when the time comes. I got this one. That was good. Gill, 6-0 in his starts. Twins, 1-6 in his starts and Ober starts. How about this? You want to talk about a long time? The Yankees have gone 120 and 44. That's 732 baseball. Over 164 games versus the Twins since the start of 2002, including 16-2 record against them in the postseason. If you're the Twins, I mean, this is rough. The Timberwolves just lost. Twins are, rolling, and then you got to come to Yankee Stadium for a couple days. Not a good spot.
And you said, that includes, 18 playoff games, which means this Minnesota team that they've been beating has been a pretty good team. It's not like it's the Oakland A's, lousy team every single year. Okay, everyone's going to have a record like that. This has been a halfway, not great, but a halfway decent Minnesota team over the last 10 years, and they still just can't beat the Yanks. I mean, that really is remarkable. So, and again, they're off to a 3-0 lead tonight. But at least they got Randy Moss Jr. They're paying him $1 gazillion. Justin Jefferson. You don't have a quarterback to throw to him, but okay, you want to pay him that kind of money, knock yourself out, screw up the salary cap system for everybody else.
It's a different type of deal, right? You sometimes build from the outside in now instead of trying to get the quarterback. You get the quarterback on a rookie deal, secure the star wide receiver. I don't know if that's going to work. Do you think that's going to work for Minnesota? I don't know if that's going to work. It didn't affect anything season win total. Didn't affect any odds or anything. That's the way I always look at things. They're still, down there with the Bears as far as the bottom. Detroit and Green Bay are definitely a leg up. I don't know if this helps anything other than making sure he stays.
What it really does is it just reaffirms, time to utter those 5 dastardly words that everyone hates to say, but eventually has to say it, whether it's an hour, day, week, month, year, some cases decades. With Phillip Rivers never winning a Super Bowl. But Wetzel was right again. Damn. If I'm the New England Patriots, I've said it many times, if Marvin Harrison Jr. is the real deal, I'm drafting Marvin Harrison Jr., and I'll get my quarterback somewhere else. Give me the superstar wide receiver over the who knows halfway decent Drake May. I don't like him. I think he's going to suck. Quarterback, give me the proven product. So if the Vikings were willing to do that and go get J.J. McCarthy, he's not going to be any good either. I would have done well with the Patriots.
It down yet?
Oh, please. He's not any good. He threw for 0 yards against Penn State second half. He's got I got as many 300-yard passing days as he has. Yeah,
you can't throw that out though. That shoulder, you cannot throw that out like him. Though.
Can't get those girls anymore either.
That's a whole nother story. Please save that for a different show. We don't want to talk about that right now. All right, that's fine. Listen, that's fair. I mean, you've been right, you've been wrong. You know where else we've been right and wrong? This S&W Corporation parlay. This is something that I mean. Our guys got eliminated. That's okay. We still got one team left in that NHL, and we got the favorite. And we got the favorite in the NBA, sir. I mean, we did okay. We did okay.
Yeah. Boy, it would have been great if we could have had Dallas win. I mean, we really to have obviously we got UConn locked in. And then we if we would have had Florida versus Dallas, we would have had both, and then all we would have needed was the Celtics. So we really and obviously Dallas, whether you think it's right or wrong, which we can get into here in a little while, but the Mavericks are big underdogs. We could have easily hedged a little bit, really could have hedged. So, but
at least we got book reached out to you about any cash out offers? Have they? Hello.
They definitely have. They definitely have. But I'm not going to do it. I'm gonna hold off. I've done a pretty good job holding off so far. So why not? Now we're locked in. Obviously, we got to have UConn, which is one. We got to have Florida. We got to have the Celtics. That pays if you put it in when we first start talking about it, and you should have. It pays 141 to 1. Woo! So depending on whether you put $1 on it, $10. But here's this is really interesting, Dave. This is how numbers can be deceiving. Because how does 141 to 1 really be about 5 to 1, maybe 6 to 1? I got to do my math. Because if you did what we did, we picked 3 teams in each, NCAA tournament, NBA, NHL. We put them in a round-robin parlay. That's 27 combinations. Okay. So just for the sake of argument, if you put $10 on that, that would cost you $270, right? 27 combinations.
Okay. Yep.
You're going to win, if it wins, $1,400. We'll just say $1,500 to make it even. $1,500. So you're risking $270 to win 141 ticket, which is going to pay $1,400. So the $270 risk into the $1,500 payoff is about 4.5 to 1 in reality. That's how 141 to 1 turns into 4.5, 5 to 1. It's amazing how numbers can do that.
It is. Well, I mean, they're plus 180 to win the series, the Mavericks, and they're minus 220 on the Celtics. So that's better odds there. And, we could take even money or plus 110 on Edmonton, lock up profit, enjoy the series, and relax.
Yeah. Would you rather have the Celtics? We'll talk about it when we come back. We'll look at the baseball stuff as well. Celtics go up 2-0 or Florida Panthers go up 2-0 in your hedging possibilities? Think about that when we come back.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York team has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. Just getting underway. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next hour, 45 minutes or so. Look at a little baseball. We'll get back to the same game, or the same game. Well, the parlay anyway. The S&W parlay. We'll go over some of the scenarios. Maybe even add a little twist to it. Do a new one if we want to include the WNBA. Payoff's not great, but we could discuss that and maybe just add on and take our no doubt profits and kind of roll them over, even though nothing. But I did leave you, so you can go ahead and answer that, obviously. If we got UConn locked in, would you rather have the Boston Celtics be up 2-0 or the Florida Panthers be up 2-0 when you think about hedging a little bit?
Oh, based on the price, I think I want the Panthers up 2-zip. The Celtics are expected to go up 2-zip. That's, they're 6.5-point favorites. Now, the last 7 times a favorite was over 6 points favored in a game, they're 1-6 against the spread. Expect that one to be close. I feel like Edmonton could win one, neither, or both games in Florida, how close these things are going to be. I personally still like Florida to win the series, but if we need a 2-0 answer, for me, it's Florida. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. Right, I'm pretty confident Boston's going to win, although I don't agree with the odds that are being thrown out there. It wouldn't shock me to see them lose, knowing it's the Celtics. But to me, Edmonton, Florida toss-up. I do think Florida's the better team, but the way this Edmonton team is playing, give me the 2-0 Panthers lead. I will gladly take that over the 2-0 Boston Celtics lead.
We'll get a much bigger price if because the starting price for the Mavericks is higher. So, speaking of high prices, did you see this Cubs White Sox line today?
I did.
I mean,
what does that tell you?
The White Sox are historically bad. I've been doing this show now almost 3 years. I don't remember seeing the computer picking up 83% for a regular season baseball game. That's a gigantic number. There it is right there. If you need any questions, White Sox 1-15 in the last 16 games, 11 straight losses. Cubs 8-2 in Imanaga's 10 starts. What in the world would make you come to the window and say, give me the White Sox tonight, even plus a run and a half? I can't do it.
I'll give you, as everything they always tell us here, guys, try and give the positives on both sides and let the viewer, listener figure out which way they want to go. It's like, all right, sometimes that's tough, Mike, but okay, here we go. So let me give you the positives for the Cubs. White Sox, you said it, Dave. They rank last in baseball average, 214, last in runs scored, 172, last in home runs. I mean, basically, they're last in every offensive category that you can come up with. I mean, that's not easy to be dead last on all those, right? The 12-game winning or losing streak matches the worst in franchise history. Now, we're talking about the Chicago White Sox, right? Not the Miami Marlins or Tampa Bay. This team has been around for 125 years. Right? This is like one of the original teams, and this is matching the worst in franchise history. That's how bad they are as far as like team records and different goofy things like that. 15 wins, 5-24 on the road. All right, so how can you bet on them? The only way you can bet on them is it's an anti-Cubs bet. It's not really a pro-White Sox bet because Imanaga, they skipped his start because they were concerned about him. He was pitching lights out, skipped his start, came back, and got whacked. And I mean whacked. He gave up more runs in his last start than he did in his previous 6 combined. So is something wrong with this dude? Because you don't throw shutout after shutout. His ERA was under 1 through 6, and he gave up like 7 runs his last outing. So what's going on? So maybe it's a hunch bet that Imanaga's hurt or something's up.
For decades in the book, when you're behind the counter, your sides are determined for you, and it's June 4th, so there's days where there's just baseball games. I mean, we got a couple WNBA games, like you said, but you go into work pretty much the rest of the summer going, who are the White Sox playing? Because we're going to need the White Sox every single day. And you go, geez, I hope the White Sox win 2 games a week at this point. I'm just hoping they win 2 games a week to try to break even because the juice is so high. I don't know if tonight's the night to take the shot, but only way I would do it is take a run and a half and hope they lose a 1-run game and you cover the spread. That's the only way I would do it. I mean, look at Tigers and Rangers. Totally different game, right? Pick them. I mean, it's a pick 'em game. You got a great effort last night from Skubal. For me, it's against Dunning. That's where I looked at this and went, okay. I mean, head-to-head, the numbers, not overwhelmingly in Flaherty's favor, but I don't know. Did you see anything in that game?
I didn't really like this game. This was one of those games where, to me, it's like a kind of stay away. I regret not playing Skubal last night. You know, he pitched great.
Always good.
You know, the one loss, I swear, the one loss he has is when I bet on him. I think he was facing your Pirates, to tell you the truth. I mean, it was an afternoon game, and I bet on him. I was like, okay, this is going to be an easy win. Yeah, he got whacked. So from that point on, it's like, all right, that's it. But he's been winning ever since. So one's a strong under team, Texas. The Texas Rangers, Dave, are the #1 under team in all of baseball. Yep. Not Seattle, not Oakland, not the White Sox. You know, it's the Texas Rangers. Go figure that out. But Detroit's a pretty strong over team. So this is kind of like, let's see what gets off to a good start.
Lineup's not hitting. I mean, there's another game. You got Cardinals and Astros tonight, right? Astros came back last night. There was a great in-game bet. The Cardinals got out to a lead. I don't know. I looked at this thing. You look at the pitchers, look at those numbers. This is one of those ones where I just go, okay, this got to be the total over. And Astros under, way ahead of pace, #2 in baseball, 0-7 in their last 7 following a win. They won yesterday. You come back with St. Louis in the over. It's the only way I looked at it. I just click refresh. Is it 1-0 already? 1-0 St. Louis? How about that?
Wow. I like that. I like St. Louis. And I'll tell you this Palante kid, I would go under if you could still make that bet because the Astros, despite all their faults this year, have the fewest strikeouts in all majors. So I wouldn't expect him to get too many strikeouts. All right, just touching on the baseball board. We'll get to all the other games when we come back in Game Live. Prime time.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live, prime time, here on a terrific Tuesday. Just basically getting underway, hour number 1. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next hour, 40 minutes or so, following baseball for the most part tonight, although we'll certainly preview, talk a little bit about the NBA, NHL Finals. We got some guests. Rob Donaldson will join us, and Cam Stewart, our good buddy here. Cam will join us in hour number 2 as well. And we got the same game parlays, which is time for a little SGP right now. All righty, we'll head out to Los Angeles, Anaheim. Angels hosted the San Diego Padres. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 legs to this parlay, Dave. We're going to start with the Padres, who somehow or another lost to this pathetic team yesterday. I don't think they're going to lose 2 in a row to the Angels. So we'll start with San Diego, right around pick 'em or so. We're going to go over 8.5 runs, San Diego and L.A. That's a little bit of a concern, but we should get to 9. We'll go Louis Arise to record a hit, minus 350. It's really just kind of bump up the odds. He has a hit in 16 of his last 17 games. The dude's hitting 373. Only the Marlins would find a way to trade him. Didn't play last night, a little banged up, but he should be in the lineup tonight. And if so, I'll take my chances. So then we'll go Manny Machado, another example of how it's ridiculous to give out these moronic 10-year contracts. He's barely hitting his weight, but he has turned it around of late. So we'll use Machado to get a base hit. He's got at least 1 hit in 14 of his last 16 games to get an RBI. He's got three of his last 4 games. He has an RBI. He had 13 RBIs last month, so it's picked up a little. And then Donovan Solano to record an RBI at plus 180. This is the one that's going to kick it up. Dude's hitting 373. He was installed in the lineup not that long ago. He's been a hit machine. So let's get a little hunch that he's going to get an RBI tonight. So San Diego over Arise, Machado to get hits, Machado an RBI, Solano to get an RBI. Pays $9.66, almost 10 to 1, 9.5 to 1.
6-piece. I mean, have you been off for a couple of days? I mean, like that's a little bit. Usually, it's about a 4-piece. There's a couple extra toppings on there. I don't mind extra toppings on a pizza. This might be, you may have went a little bit extra, like the kids say. One concern for the total. You saw last night a low-scoring game. Not necessarily that means that carries over. San Diego bounced back off a loss. I like that angle. A rise is tremendous. Get a hit. I don't know. This is going to be a fun train ride home for you. And I love watching the Padres out west here. So I'm going to have to root this one home for you. If I would have known, I would have worn the Padres stuff. Padres 6-1 last 7 interleague road games. I like that. Angels not good in Sandoval's 11 starts this season, 3-8. So you feel confident? I mean, like, do you feel when you put this one in, are you excited about this, or are you like, I don't know?
No, I'm excited. You know, the total is the one, but I can't have 2 guys get RBIs and then bet the under. You know, if I got 2 guys get, I mean, obviously it could be 5 to 1. There's many scenarios it might not get to 9, but it's just kind of weird. I'm looking for RBIs and runs and hits, and then I want the under as well. So, but the over 8.5 would be the one, just because the Angels are awful and sometimes these Padre bats are slow.
The RBI sweats are different because your guy could get 3 hits, but nobody's ever on base. Or the third base coach waves a guy in, and he shouldn't have, and he gets thrown out at the plate. There's nothing worse than when you bet a guy to get an RBI, and you get a single runner at second or something, and he gets thrown out at the plate. That may be your only opportunity. So the RBI sweats, you have to have not only opportunity, you have to have all perfect execution.
Yeah, that's the thing. But at Sandoval, the Angels are so bad that I'm thinking there's going to be some chances that somehow, some way, they're going to score some runs tonight. So you want to play a little hunch? Cincinnati at Colorado. The guy pitching for the Rockies, now he's on Colorado. So, but he's a young kid. He's from Denver. He's pitching at home against Cincinnati. Reds 0-5 in Montas's last 5 starts. Frankie Montas going for the Reds, but Colorado's back to losing again.
Yeah, but they've been good at home. They've lost 3 games in a row. Cincinnati's won 7 of their last 10. Maybe starting to get hot. Put up 13 runs last night. Ellie De La Cruz came out of it a little bit. He's been in a terrible slump. 7 for his last 60 prior to last night. You like Colorado? Tonight might be the night they win.
Yeah. Maybe just because the kid's from Denver. That's all. Rob Donaldson, Underdog Fantasy, sports analyst, joins us next.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, Prime Time, here on the grid. Halfway through hour number one of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, looking for some winners. We searched high and low, and we found Rob Donaldson from UnderdogFantasy.com joining us now to hopefully give us a couple of baseball winners. What's going on, Rob? How are you tonight?
Hey, I'm having a good night, boys, and certainly I'm a big fan of baseball, so these times of nights when we got a stacked slate, this is just kind of my comfort zone.
All right, cool. Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead.
Fire away.
I just took a peek at the games that started. Okay, you got a couple plays. The Yankees. This is wonderful. They're playing the Twins, but you talked about a little bit during the break the perils of betting, and you get a pitching change. That's kind of like just one of the perils of pregame betting, right? You can't do anything about that.
Yeah, and unfortunately with pitching scratches, it used to not be a thing because you could bet action on a pitcher, but now we have openers that kind of start the first 2 innings, and then a starter comes in the third and carries it 4 or 5, and it's kind of thrown a wrench into all of that, and we don't really see, betting on action anymore. A lot of books have just kind of scrapped it entirely, and so, yeah, you do kind of run the risk of somebody getting thrown on the IL last second. It just happened with the Padres and Joe Musgrove a few days ago as well. So, yeah, it's definitely one of the perils of overnight betting.
Yeah, it's one of the things that's going to keep your local Louis the Lip in business, right? As long as they do offer that, some of these bets, the old reverse, trying to put a reverse in. People asking, what's a reverse? Everything's on parlays, Rob. So, I missed the old reverses, right? I know those were great. So, all right, so we got, Dave and I were talking about Cincinnati, Colorado. The kid pitcher from the Rockies is from Denver. He's been on Colorado here for a little while, but still a little extra pumped up. You going Rockies? You going Reds? What are you doing here?
I'm really liking an angle on the Reds through the first 5, and it's kind of more of a fade of Ty Block than anything else because, yeah, he has been great in terms of the earned run average over the last 4 or 5 starts, but at the same time, he has been dodging a lot of bullets in the hard hit department and not really paying for it. And when you're talking about playing in Coors, playing with a Reds lineup that just kind of put the number on the Rockies last night, I think he's kind of run into a buzzsaw right here. And so when you are looking at this matchup, I really love the Reds through the first 5, just kind of laying that half run.
Another game you're looking at first 5. It's a 2-part question. tell everybody why in the Padres game you're looking at the first five. But do you like looking at first fives more than games? Yes, no, indifferent, just when there's opportunity, or do you specialize more in that?
I think it's certainly situationally dependent because you got to kind of monitor bullpen usage, right? I mean, if there's a major closer, let's just say you're betting on the Cardinals and Ryan Helsley isn't available in the back nine. Well, hey, you're going to probably run into some issues, and that's kind of what happened to them last night against the Astros. A lot of runs came through late. And so that's kind of where you got to sharpen your focus. Do you trust the bullpen and the guys who are available that specific game? Or would you rather just kind of have the result be determined by the starter? And that's kind of where I draw the line.
All right, so San Diego and Arizona is another one I see you got a first five play in. What's that one?
Yep. Yeah, San Diego and LA. Hey, I'm a kind of a sucker, I will say, for guys who have a high ERA and some really good underlying numbers. And Patrick Sandoval is one of those guys. He has a blow-up outing at least every, one every 4 outings is kind of what it feels like. But when he is on, he's going 6 innings pitched, 1 or 2 earned runs. And man, that really puts the Angels in a good spot. And when you're looking at just the under through the first 5, I don't think the Padres lineup is that intimidating. And I think a guy like Adam Mazur right out of the gate with a struggling Angels offense can be able to kind of tame them down. And so when you are looking at 4.5, 5 runs through the first 5, I like it going under.
So you got a team total on the list, and I saw that and went, all right, San Francisco, Arizona, one of the last games of the night tonight. Why the team total? Because a lot of times people will dismiss the side in a total in a game that they either don't know the pitchers or they're just not excited about looking at. Why do you like this team total over for the D-backs?
A lot of different factors. One of them is just kind of fading Kyle Harrison because at the beginning part of the season, I thought he was kind of dodging a lot of bullets from the earned run perspective because he was walking a lot of guys and then just kind of getting bailed out by strikeouts. Well, those strikeouts have kind of fallen off the table. He's still allowing hard hits, and now the earned runs are starting to pile up. And even if we don't get there with this Kyle Harrison giving up runs, this Giants bullpen has been seeing some issues, and they just kind of got demoralized against the Yankees on Sunday, where Camilo Doval was just getting absolutely worked in that 9th inning. And so I kind of think that on the back end of the bullpen, even if we don't get there in the first 5 or 6, we'll get there in 7, 8, or 9.
I heard you say you like the Yankees. You had the Yankees tonight. Obviously, you're up 3-0 last time I checked. Why New York? Simple as they're playing Minnesota, or you riding the Yankees? Gil pitching really surprisingly well for the Yankees. One of the surprise pitchers for them this year.
Yeah, one of the more breakout stars. And Luis Gil, I mean, you look at his underlying numbers, he's not allowing hard hits. He's striking out a ton of batters. And for that reason, I definitely like them through the first 5. And Ober on the other side was giving up a lot of hard hits. And so I laid the half run through the first 5 innings, and hey, I'm happy about it.
Do you have any pitching props or any other kind of props? You just basically stick to the games themselves, Rob?
It depends. The other night I was kind of fading Kevin Gossman on earned runs just because he's a big name and a lot of his lines are a little bit overinflated. And so if you can kind of fade on against, the anti-lines of guys like him, Chris Sale, and maybe like a Yoshu Yamamoto over time, I think that's going to eventually pay off on the prop department if you can kind of identify who those guys are.
Rob, it's nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me. I'm from Pittsburgh, and I'm a Steeler fan as well. Did a little recon and saw you had Steelers and Iowa. Is that a black and gold thing or what? Because I went to Penn State, and I mean, I appreciate Iowa. I respect Iowa. Not a big Iowa fan. I got to get to a game there. But you're a Steeler fan? Is this true?
I am. I'm a diehard Steeler fan. My first season was with Cordell Stewart at quarterback, and I just fell in love with the game. And yeah, certainly watching black and gold on Saturday makes it easier to watch black and gold on Sunday. And yeah, when you're living in the Midwest and there's no pro team in Iowa growing up, you just kind of got to figure out who do you like. And that's why I like the Cardinals, I like the Hawkeyes, and I like the Steelers.
Good choice. Good choice, Wetzel. See, Wetzel. I mean, it happens all over. You know, it's
I'm
not a
trying
bad
to figure
idea.
out that triangle there, but okay, no St. Louis Rams, no fun bunch with the Rams. Kurt Warner, no, is that before your time? It can't be before your time. So you switched over to the black and gold there, huh? Interesting.
You know, I adopted a different Ram. I said, hey, I like Jerome Bettis in the bus, and I'm all aboard
Let's
Bill
go.
Cowher, and so that kind of just brought me in, and I've never looked back.
I love it. That's great.
All right, who's winning the World Series? Let me pencil in a
that's
future
a tough
for you.
question. You know, it's going to come down to who's got the best farm when it matters most, and right now I think the Orioles are in perfect spot because they've got the trade pieces at the deadline, they've got the talent now, and so I do think it's going to come down to potentially one of those, you know, AL teams in terms of the Yankees and the Orioles. I think those would be my two kind of spearheading teams for the entire thing.
What about in the National League? I mean, is it that simple that it's Dodgers and Phillies in the NLCS?
It kind of looks like that right now. I'm thinking the Dodgers will eventually hit a stride where it's just smooth every single night out. They're doing what they need to do, but it has been a little rocky, so we'll kind of figure out. But I am kind of leaning that way alongside you.
You got 10 seconds. Is that stash in honor of Paul Skeens? Like, you got a nice stash working. Skeens Day tomorrow. Skeens K-Prop's over?
Tomorrow.
You know, when Matt Carpenter went to the Yankees and just had that thick mustache, I was inspired, and that's why I never looked back in the facial hair department.
They got props already for him on FanDuel. It's amazing. Yeah. Rob, great job, my friend. Hopefully we get a chance to do it again down the line. Thanks, Rob.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. Thanks again to Rob Donaldson joining us there for a couple of minutes as we go over some of the plays with the boys in Vegas, including, I will say, Dave, your Pittsburgh Pirates shutting out the L.A. Dodgers tonight. It's funny, the two consensus favorites now in the National League with all the injuries to Atlanta, Philadelphia and the L.A. Dodgers both being shut out tonight, 1-0. Milwaukee over the Phillies. and your Pirates over the L.A. Dodgers. Of course, I got a bet on the Dodgers laying a 1.5, but that's beside the point. It'd be nice for them to score one stinking run tonight. Can we at least get that? Can I get my hopes back up? 5 lousy hits through 7+ innings, heading out top of the 8th inning, down 1-0. And that's not even with Skeens on the hill. He's going tomorrow for you guys.
Pirates are slowly building a really nice pitching staff. I can't believe you went against Sherrod Jones today and laid a 1.5. I mean, I know that you didn't like the price of the money line, but Buccos, when Jones pitches, Skeens tomorrow, Keller in there. So if you're going to be very competitive, a lot of under games. You got to look at the totals. Now, we're right in the bridge here, right? The Dodgers are hitting the top of the 8th. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to say it out loud. I don't want to jinx it. But now would probably be a pretty good opportunity to bet the Dodgers. I'm just saying. You look at that price, and I know you like a good price, Wetzel. Not a bad idea. Yeah.
Now, I see somebody's got 2 runners on. Is it the Dodgers that actually have 2 runners on? Is that possible,
yes.
Or is my thing old?
Yes. First and third, 2 out.
How can they be plus 240 then? That can't be. I'd bet my left hand. I'd bet a date with my wife. They're not plus. They can't possibly have 2 runners on in the top of the 8th inning, and you're getting plus 240. There's no way.
What do you mean?
No,
they got to get a base hit to get the run in, unless they get a wild pitch or something. Pass ball.
Oh, see now. Well, yeah. Now they got 2 out. Now they got runners on first and third. A moment ago it was first and second, 1 out.
Yeah,
now it's first and third,
2 out. Yeah. So take your shot if you like the Dodgers. Come on, Buccos. Get out of the
I already got him. How much can I throw away in this dopey team? They're going to win 100 games, and I'm going to win like 4 times on them.
I mean, you got plus 280
How about
now.
a Dodgers-Phillies parlay right now? Plus 260, plus 230.
They're both going to come back and win?
Maybe. 11-1.
Look at you.
I'm going to do
Why?
that. I'm doing
you
that.
With a little bit of time.
I'm doing that.
A little bit of time to look at that phone and see the prices and start to push a couple buttons. You come up with some stuff. That's a nice payout. You got to have them both win. Bet them each individually.
Philly's going to get shut out at home.
Maybe.
No, they're not getting shut out at home. This team's got the best home record in baseball. And are the Pirates with June Jones Jr. on the hill? He's out of the game?
Whoa. Yeah.
Jay Jones. It's got to be June Jones Jr. He's 3-5.
They
got
don't hit
ERA
a lot
bigger
of
than my waistline.
Whoa.
Well, that's not saying.
I don't want to go there. I don't want to go. You're reffing now. You're running.
I am
you're
reffing.
Good.
Double overtime. Double overtime game last night. I repped the game this past weekend with a dude, I swear to God, 40-point game, gave a technical foul with 5 seconds left.
You teed up a guy with 40
Not
points?
me. Not me. The other ref.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, get the game over with. I mean, I don't care if this guy spits in your face. What do you do? Get the game over with. 5 seconds left in a 40-point game? This is what I deal with.
1 second. Would you focus for 1 second, please? We got to get the producer's pick in. We didn't mention the producer's pick when we did the same game parlay. The boys are searching for winners.
Okay.
They're hunting.
There you go.
They're looking. They come up with these beautiful graphics. It's plus 175.
It's been about a month and a half since they've given us a winner. I got to tell you, nothing for nothing.
We're rooting for him. It doesn't sound like you're rooting for him.
I am rooting for him, but I'm just saying, it'd be nice to have a winner out here. Spend all this time on the nice graphics and everything.
Matty G, you guys, the boys did a great job with this. Do you like the pick? I do like it. Julio's been playing a lot better lately. So he's been hitting the ball. I must say, boy, I don't think there's a player on a team who dictates what that team does more than Julio Rodriguez. I mean, I got the Jones on my brain now. I mean, when he hits, that team scores runs and they win. When he doesn't hit, they'll win some games, but they don't score unless he's hitting. It's as simple as that. It's amazing. 12,
So
12
two
for his
hits,
last
asking for a
32.
lot.
12 for his last 32. And
Right.
in 4 of his last 8 games, he's gotten 2 hits or more. So I hope he gets a hit in his first at bat. That makes
Right.
you feel like you really got a shot. When he comes up and pops up or strikes out in his first at bat, that's when the sweat gets real, right? You got to worry about whether he gets 3 more at bats, 2 more at bats, he gets a walk, then you're running out of time. So we'll still be on, hopefully, for his first at bat. We'll have to have the boys back at home base, keep us abreast of what he's doing. Maybe we'll blast a goal horn for old time's sake if he gets a hit, something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. That's a good idea. 2's asking for a lot, but okay. It is Oakland. But this kid pitching for Oakland, you'll hear in a moment, is not too bad. He's in a pretty good spot. So,
Okay.
Orioles up 7-0 over Toronto. Boy, that's an Oriole team. All they do is win. It's just amazing. All they do is win. I was glad to hear Rob actually mention them as, a team that could win it all. Like, most people would never, ever do that. It's just Yankees, Dodgers, Phillies, right? He mentioned Baltimore.
They're the second best team in the American League. I mean, them and Cleveland right now. Orioles have won 12 of 16 games versus the American League East. That's tied with Seattle for the best intra-division record in Major League Baseball. They beat teams in their division, and Toronto is scuffling, to say the least.
Speaking of scuffling, this is what I told you about the White Sox. The one answer I gave you is why you'd bet Chicago. 3-0 White Sox. Imanaga get lit up again.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, closing out hour number 1. Full hour to go, so don't go anywhere. We're not done with this hour because we have our Black Cloud play of the day coming up. Yes. This is like the Hawaii versus San Jose Saturday night bailout special. We're going to go late night. Little Oakland A's, Seattle Mariners action, right? All 5 people, they're going to be staying up here on the East Coast anyway to watch this game. Well, now we got a reason because there's a pretty good angle. Not on Seattle, not on Oakland. I don't care how many runs are going to be scored. I don't care how many, who's going to win. All I care about are strikeout numbers. Good old Mitch Spence. Ever hear of him? Me neither. Don't worry about it. They got his number at 4.5. Here's the key. He's only had 3 starts. So when you look at his game log, it'll show 1 strikeout, 2 strikeouts, 3 strikeouts, 2 strikeouts. So the doping computer, they don't realize that. They think those are all starts. They're not. Guy's had 3 starts, and he's averaging basically a strikeout an inning in those starts. So he's going to be facing one of the worst hitting teams in baseball, the Seattle Mariners. So you know he's going to go 5, maybe 6 innings. And, oh, by the way, I buried the lead. The Mariners are the worst strikeout team in baseball. Nobody has more strikeouts than the Seattle Mariners. There's no way this dude is not getting 5 strikeouts. He may not be great. He may not even win. And he may even give up 4 or 5 runs. Who knows? But you know what? He's going to be in there long enough against Seattle, which couldn't beat Topeka High scoring 7, 8 runs to get 5 strikeouts. Over 4.5 strikeout. Little juice minus 136. I'll take it, though. Mitch Spence.
First of all, Topeka High this year is a good lineup. So don't start bad rapping Topeka High's lineup, okay? All right. Second of all, this is outstanding. This is how you know you're up late. You're looking at research. There's not another show. There's not another. I have no idea, 1, how many people are going to be at this game. 2, how many people even know who Spence is. And 3, aren't looking at Kirby or something that he's doing. So you came not only with the black cloud, I mean, you went in like the black hole of props. Who's looking at this? I'm very excited. Now, you know, my kids are big A's fans. We pay attention to the A's games. I flew up there a few weeks ago, saw the Pirates play against the A's, got all the A's stuff. It was a really good price. This is a really good price. Wetzel, you've outdone yourself. You've come with plays with the black cloud that leave people with their mouth agape. They don't know. They're like, what did he do? How did he do this? I'm sold. Let's go. I hope this goes. I hope he gets 5 in 4 innings. We don't even have to worry about the decision. Just get over the total in 4 innings. Let's go.
Exactly. Get it over so we can go to bed early tonight. Simple as that. So, Mitch
I'm going to stay up and watch the game.
Spence for hire. Yeah, we might as well do that, I guess. I'll be up. I'm up early. I'm up late.
Google it. That was a really good drop right there, Spence for hire. That was good. They have no idea what you're talking about. That's a me and you thing.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. So, and by the way, also in the game, if you want to go, like, Seattle's the number 1 strikeout team. Oakland is the number, I don't know if they're number 2 or not. Yeah, the Oakland's the number 2 strikeout team. So you want to go over George Kirby?
Yeah. How about this?
Kirby's 5.5.
A's are live. Mariners 0-6 in Kirby's last 6 road games. They're on the road. They're in Oakland. A's under 6-1 in the last 7 versus a righty, which Kirby is. Let's go. Let's go. Boy, this is really good. This is. You can find gold in every game. People talk about that. Oh, I don't want to bet that game. If he gets 5 Ks through 3 innings, they're going to want to know what the black cloud play of the night is every night, which we do at this point every show. I mean, you do.
Also, I'm pretty sure this guy Spence is from Washington. So now he's going up his hometown Seattle Mariners team.
Is this a betting angle of yours?
This is, you got to do it. Hometown kid going up against a team you no doubt grew up rooting for. It'll be a minor miracle if he doesn't get 5 strikeouts. Minor miracle. Or he doesn't get out of the first inning because he's starstruck. Either one. So take your pick. We're thinking positive. Gonna happen. Hour number 2 coming up.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome in InGame Live, PrimeTime, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, just going back and forth with some fine folks on Twitter as we opened up a little can here, Dave, on the New York teams. You mentioned the first hour, not having a championship now in 100 straight seasons when you consider the 4. Ryan from Minnesota there tweeted out his Minnesota teams haven't won for 120 straight seasons. So I'll just throw it out there before we begin. What do you think? I don't know the answer. What would be the longest drought for a city that has teams in all 4 major sports? Not all do. So, would it be Minnesota off the top of my head? Right?
Got to be because
LA,
Cleveland
yes.
won.
Chicago, yes.
Cleveland won with LeBron. Because it was a long time. It was Cleveland. Very long time. But Seattle got a Super Bowl, right? So
how long has it been since the Red Wings won? Detroit? It's been a while since the
90s, late 90s. They won.
Right.
Well, I was down in Curacao. They won the Stanley Cup, I believe it was 97. They might have won it again between then. They did. They beat the Penguins, I believe, in 08. So,
yeah.
But yeah, the Lions never have. It's been forever for the Tigers. The Pistons were the bad boys in the late 90s or early 90s, right? So,
right.
Minnesota,
Minnesota, you only got the one Twins team, right? The Kirby Puckett team. That would be the only one that they would have. Otherwise, it'd be forever for them.
The Minnesota North Stars lost to the Penguins in the early 90s, and then they moved to Dallas. They won in Dallas. So they weren't Minnesota then. The Wild obviously have never won it. The Vikings have been tortured for a long time. You guys in Minnesota, Ryan, have
they may have it.
They got scores. It's been a long time. Yeah.
They may be the best of the worst.
Yeah, they're getting over the Minnesota Timberwolves losing. I mean, it's been, 6 days since they lost. But listen, the Twins are losing. They're probably going to lose tonight. We talked about that. it'll be a better week once they get out of Yankee Stadium. Tough spots. It's a long time. I did that. I got that record. 120 and 44 over 164 games since the start of 2002. 73% of the games he played against them since 2002. Where were you in 2002?
2002, I was in Chicago working for Sporting News Radio.
Oh.
Married.
Okay.
Still am. But yeah. Okay. First child, 2 years old. Yeah. Second one on the way. Yeah.
Okay.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
Amazing.
White Sox actually won the World Series, what, in 05? I think it was It was 2005.
Something like that, yeah. I was out there when it happened. Yeah. Ozzie Guillen and Company. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, you have any memorabilia from then? Like, like the ticker thing that you got from Abbott's Perfect Game and all of those stuff? Did you get anything from Chicago that we should know?
I don't.
No?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
I still got to sell that. I'm going to sell that, by the way. Up for bids. I got to get Abbott's signature on it. I got to get my guy Brandon Steiner here, right? Get him to sign it. And then hopefully get I'm hoping Abbott says, boy, this is kind of cool. I'll give you a couple $1,000 for it. And I'll say, okay, take it. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. But otherwise, he'll sign it and get a couple $1,000? Couple $100?
Under.
That's unique. It's unique. Under which one?
Under all of it. Whatever price you're coming up with right now, under. That's the bid.
I'm kind of hoping to get a couple $1,000. Use that as one of my down payments. Hopefully, increase my down payment on my new car I'm going to buy. That's a. I got to get a Jim Abbott fan. They're out there.
You're in trouble. Just like the Cubs right now tonight. In trouble. Down 5-0 to the White Sox. How about that? Who would have thought that? Actually, if you listen to us in the first hour, you kind of put it out there that something might not be right with Imanaga. And so far, nothing's right with Imanaga. They're down 5-0.
Well,
would you be interested in a plus 4.5 with the Cubbies right now? In the fifth?
I would say yes, just because they got to take the dude out, right? Listen to these numbers, Dave. You tell me, and this is why I didn't play it, and I actually played the Cubs, so, I'm not going to say I was that smart. But this is why I had reservation. This is Imanaga's starting appearances this year, and I'll go in orders. His first start on. First start against Colorado, no runs, 6 innings. Next start, no runs, 4 innings. Next start, no runs, 5 1/3. Next start, slipped up, 2 runs in 6 innings. Next start, 1 run in 6 1/3. Next start, no runs. Next start, 2 runs. Next start, no runs. Next start, no runs. In 9 starts, his first 9 starts, he had given up 5 combined earned runs. His next start, which was last week, 7 runs in 4 1/3 innings. Okay. And now tonight, he's given up 5 runs in, 4 innings or so. Yeah. You can't possibly pitch that good, 5 earned runs over 9 starts, and then pitch this bad without something being wrong. They skipped the start. After his last great start, they skipped it, and then last week he pitched and he pitched lousy. So they must have skipped it knowing something. I'm telling you, he's got to undergo an MRI. Something's not right.
You're jumping to conclusions. I don't know. And listen, you can have a couple bad starts in a row. He was dominant. And the second time through the league, word gets out, scouting reports get better. And for new guys, there's probably movement in the Rookie of the Year market because it was a shoe-in after April that he was going to win it. And now things are opened up. I just took a peek at the scores. 2 things you had talked about earlier. The Dodgers coming back against the Pirates. Not tonight, my friend. Pittsburgh wins 1-0. Hello. Shut out. Put it up, Vinny. I love it. Look at that. Pittsburgh Pirates win tonight. They're going to win tomorrow with Skeens. But you know who tied it?
Phillies.
Philadelphia Phillies. 1-1 right now. Don't let that bad boy get to extra innings. Well, it's the top of the ninth. Yep. right? Top of the ninth, you could get the Phillies while the Brewers are batting. Minus 120.
Bet the over.
Hmm?
How about the over? I love betting the over on these games going to extra innings. I got to verify my
Is it been up?
location.
Okay, I think the total's off in the two books I'm looking at. Total's off.
Yeah, it's still up in FanDuel. FanDuel still has it at 3.5. So you need 3 runs, but that's what you get in these extra innings, right?
3.5. Well, that's just get through the top and the bottom of the ninth. You're going to get
Actually,
you're going to get 2
yeah.
runs, right?
Yeah,
that's great.
That's not even
yeah.
3.
Yeah,
I think they screwed up. I think a lot of times they'll offer 2.5 runs more. So you got to get the third run. You got to get both teams to score. So this you really don't necessarily. I would do that. Now you got to bank on them going scoreless in the ninth, but it's only 1-1, so why not?
Right.
And I would think in a 1-1 game, they'd be more inclined to bunt the runner over to third, knowing that, okay, 1 run may actually do it.
You're showing your age. They don't bunt no more.
Yeah, I know.
They don't bunt.
It's not going to happen.
They
don't bunt.
You got to explain to the kids, Google that video. How do you bunt? You turn.
Yeah, how do you what's a bunt?
Nobody bunts. No, they don't bunt. I don't get it.
They just bumped it to, it was minus 110. Now we're talking about they bumped it up to minus 154. So now you got to lay the juice on a 3.5.
They watch the show. It's good. Welcome to the boys in the room.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. You know, the boys and the girls in the room. Thank you. Send the check to Wetzel's address, please. I mean, I've been waiting for that consultant check for a long time.
What's our rule, too? You take our advice, but you got to give us, a window for our viewers to be able to make the bet first. Then you can bump it up to minus 154. Can't do it right away. Now they can't make the bet.
Yeah.
So, not fair. All right, more coming up.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back InGame Live, PrimeTime, here on a Saturday evening. Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan here, just looking at some of the baseball stuff. So
hold on. You just said it's Saturday evening.
I did,
You're so
didn't I?
used
Yeah,
to saying it's Saturday evening. It's Tuesday night.
It's Tuesday night. It's not even the same kind of rhythm. Tuesday night. Yeah, we're on tape delay. We know the future, so I just automatically assumed I was going to give you all the scores and everything over the next 4 or 5 days. So it's just, we're so good at this. So, yeah, I just automatically assumed it was Saturday.
Perfect.
I was going to say it will be Saturday night, Dave, when they kick off the Stanley Cup Finals. So why don't we spend a minute or two on that?
Yes.
All right. Disappointed that our Dallas Stars and our three-team championship parlay didn't come through. But even that aside, I am really, I don't say shocked, but I am very surprised that Edmonton won. I'm more surprised Edmonton was able to beat Dallas 3 straight. But you talk about series turning, right? Dallas was up 2-1 and leading 2-0 in the 4th game. And they scored 2 goals the rest of the way. Outscored 10-2, and now we're left with an Edmonton-Florida final, which should be a great final. But, for our purposes, it didn't help us out, that's for sure.
It didn't help us out for the S&W Corporation, but I think it helped us out as hockey fans, first and foremost.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a really good series. Now, the way that Edmonton won is more the story to me, because they turned those games into under games, and Skinner was outstanding. I mean, the first 2 games in Edmonton, games 3 and 4, went over. And then 5 and 6, dead under games, like never close. Dallas couldn't even get the puck to the net. They went 2 periods, I think it was game 5, with 4 shots on goal through 2 periods of a playoff game. So, whatever adjustments were made, Edmonton made them. I think we're going to get a great series. Now, go back to when Boston played Vancouver in the Stanley Cup. It was in the book, helping with the numbers. It was out at the counter. And I remember saying to somebody, every game in a series is going under. You're going to go, if it goes 7 games, you're going to get 6 right. This is that same series to me. I'm looking at this going, I don't know. I'm old enough to remember, and I know you are too, where we used to put up 4.5s. We used to put up 4.5s on the regular in the NHL in the playoffs. There were certain matchups with certain teams. You had to get an over bet. And the only way you could do it was make it 4.5. I think we're going to see those type of games in this series. So I think it's going to be a really good defensive series. I don't think they're going to take a lot of penalties. And I think that's the only way it goes over, is if there are games where there are power plays opportunities, because both teams' power plays are really good, aren't they?
Yeah. It's amazing. There's a lot of offensive players in this series, but I agree. And I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing even any 5s this postseason. I think everything's been 5.5 or higher. If so, it's only been like maybe 1 or 2, but I don't remember any 5s. I've seen just 5.5s. And, it's amazing. I heard the guys on TV say, Florida's built for 2-1 games. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're not built they're built for 6-5 games. They're 4 deep, their line, but they don't play that way. But they're not built that. They're built to be able to put 6 goals on the board with all the players that they have on that team. And Edmonton, the same thing, but both teams, especially Florida, likes to play low-scoring game, grab the lead, then sit on it, play New Jersey Devils hockey. So my concern with Edmonton, though, is the layoff, not concerned with Florida. You got Bobrovsky and everything. I think they'll be fine. But what's going to happen is Stuart Skinner. All this magic that he's been having over the last few games. This is the same guy that got yanked, from the Nets for a couple of games for Edmonton. So is he going to be able to continue that with a week off? Florida minus 140 series favorite. Decent-sized number.
Well, I think the fact that it's not higher tells me, from the number standpoint, that if Edmonton's going to get him, maybe they'll get him in game 1. But based on what we've seen and the way Bobrovsky played against the Rangers, I think you can make an argument that the Rangers were the second-best team in the playoffs until Edmonton actually gets it done and wins. But I'm super impressed with Edmonton. Look at the Conn Smythe numbers, the guys that win at Conn Smythe. There was so much movement in that based on teams winning. I mean, there was a time when Audiger was the favorite, Shesterkin was the favorite, and now we get to this series. Is it McDavid for the Oilers because if he wins, they have to give it to him, don't they? I mean, they're going to, despite as good as Picard has done, all these other things, Hyman and Draisaitl, amazing players.
Bouchard, yeah.
It's all right. It's all over the place for Florida. Like, it is all over the place. Before the series against the Rangers, Bobrovsky wasn't one of the top even 3 choices. So between Barkov, Verhaeghe, and Tkachuk, there's a lot of options for Florida. That goes to what you said about them being a deep team. They got 4 lines that are outstanding.
Yeah, they really do. They don't allow any shots on goal, so it's been difficult for him to make great saves and have this 45-save performance, Bobrovsky. So this is kind of wide open from their standpoint. Edmonton, You're right? Yeah, I mean, I think Stuart Skinner could pitch 4 shutouts. And I think they'll still give it to Connor McDavid. They love me. They're not going to not give it to Connor McDavid. He would have to completely fall apart for them, I think, to not to be able to win and not give it to him. So
yeah, he's got all those assists. He doesn't necessarily have to score goals, right? Like, I think he's done enough, and he's the face of the league, especially in Canada, where if he wins the Stanley Cup, he's going to be the Conn Smythe winner. Quick update, The Phillies just led off the bottom of the ninth. They struck out Rhys Hoskins, who got thrown out at the plate yesterday in his return back to Philadelphia as a Brewer. And then he just struck out with runners at first and third. The Brewers got no runs in the top of the ninth. The Phillies are hitting and got a leadoff single to start the bottom of the ninth. So your Phillies comeback is alive and well. Runner at first, nobody out.
Yeah, but I got it in a parlay with the Dodgers. So
told you to bet him separate. You never listen.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I got over 3.5, so now I'm rooting against the Phillies. I need extra innings. That's what I want.
Fair.
More baseball talk coming up. That Twinkies maybe coming back?
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the grid on a Tuesday evening. A couple of quickies here, Dave. I'm going to put a little flyer. I'm going to just throw this out there. Bases loaded, nobody out on the Miami Marlins, down 9-5. Oh, they just locked it. Bottom of the ninth, they're down 4. They had the bases loaded, nobody out against Tampa Bay. And now they got to post it back up. 14-1. Uh-oh. Someone must have hit into a double play. I'm still going to do it. 14-1. Maybe we get a nice little grand. It's worth a shot at a grand slam. So I'm going to do that. Twinkies had a little something going. They scored a run. Yankees hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the ninth, the bottom of the 8th. Now 5-1.
I mean,
Forget
if you
it.
can't
Never
beat
mind.
them, join them. I mean, I try to. I come like this, like so everybody can see it. Yankees give you all the numbers, everything like that. No, not tonight, Twins. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see.
Your Pirates won. I wonder if this guy Marcano had a bet on Pittsburgh today. Got
Not
a question.
Nice. Not nice.
Listen, he's got to go to the website. Opposite picks. Nobody wins. Let me ask you something. How do the, like, he got caught because he gambled and whatever website he was using, and all the stories I read didn't say which one it is. I think they keep it a secret. But I know they catch these guys, and part of their deal with baseball and football and all the other sports is they have to notify the leagues, hey, we got a guy that's gambling. How do they know that? Like, this is an obscure guy, and they've caught kids in the minors. So do they have, like, do they get a list of every single baseball, football, soccer, basketball player, put it into their system, and then once someone signs up, bells and whistles go off when they figure out, a guy like this guy, is gambling? I mean, how do they catch these guys?
There's so many different ways to do it, and I don't know yet specifically in this case, but I think he got caught because he was doing it at the ballpark. Again, just like the guys in the NFL that got caught were doing it at the training facilities, at the stadium. And, it's very geo-targeted where you could see if there's anything going on, if anyone logs on to the Wi-Fi, if anybody uses this apps while you're at the facility, because it's evidently clear that you cannot wager on your sport, period, if you're a baseball player. But the other leagues are a little bit vague where, you can't wager on your sport. You can wager on other sports. You just can't do it here. You can't do it when you're on a road trip with the team. You can't do it at the training camp facility, at the training facility, at the home stadium. So where you're doing it is very important. And I think it makes it much easier when you have that kind of, fencing. I mean, there's only 24 guys, right? 25-man roster in a clubhouse. So you could see who's all logged in, who's not, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Who do you think the obligation is on? Is the obligation on the league to find out and get, somebody rats on somebody and says, hey, I think this guy's doing something? The league goes to the player doesn't know, and then they go to the book? Or is it on the book to tell the league, hey, you might have a guy gambling?
Oh, it's definitely on the book. It's definitely on the book to tell the league. Now, that doesn't, exclude the team from trying to find out, but it's definitely the books are responsible for notifying the leagues. That's part of their deal.
The book has to catalog every single player from the major league level down to the single A level?
Yeah. In every single sport. I mean,
you think it's on the book?
Yeah. I know it's their responsibility when they know someone is gambling to notify the league.
You don't know. What if you don't know?
Well, if you don't know, you don't know. So do they have to, like when I sign up and you sign up, you got to give you're in Vegas, you can't, but, all the other, we got to give our social security number, bank account number, and I mean, they know who you are.
Same thing here.
Which I hate. Same thing there. Yeah, I mean, I hate that. Yeah. You're giving them your life. Really does suck, but
all of it.
Because of that, that's what I mean. Do they have a list of 2,000 players, 3,000 players over all the sports? And when a name pops up, they verify.
Absolutely not. No. I can tell you that. Unless they've improved that or done that, cross-reference a list, no, the books don't have that. So unless I think somebody goes looking for it, you don't know. I mean, if you're sitting there and somebody recognizes a name comes across, you go, oh,
right.
Wait a second. Right. Mike Trout's betting. Whoa.
Yeah.
We better tell somebody, right? I don't know if, Tupaquita Marcano, I don't know. I mean, the Pirate fans might not have been the only ones that know him.
Yeah, very weird.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live, primetime here at a Saturday evening. We got Cam Stewart coming on in about 10 minutes or so. We'll go over some of the baseball, hockey, and NBA stuff with him. But in the meantime, we'll continue to look at the games that are going on. Did get to the top of the 10th inning in Philadelphia. Phillies and Brewers tied at 1. Brewers now with a runner on first and third with 1 out, so over 3.5. Well, I do like that. You get an over 1.5 total of what the game is at this point. You know, that's a pretty good bet because, boy, there's so many games that go at least 2 runs in extra innings. So that's looking fairly good. Stankies did win tonight, Dave, 5-1 over the Twinkies. Orioles with a lot of blowouts tonight. Orioles winning big, 10-1, bottom 8. Braves winning big, 8-3, bottom 9. These games are hard to bet. They really are, unless you really, really have to. White Sox Cubs in a rain delay, top of the 5th. That would be funny if they canceled that one. Tigers 3-0 over the Rangers. They can't score. Astros 6-1. Maybe Houston's turning things around. And Reds 4-0 over the Rockies before we get to the games that are going to start here in a few minutes. Anything on the board of the current games stand out for you?
Well, obviously that White Sox one is a big deal. And, you know, that's – you want to talk about a night where you pick the White Sox, even if you took a run and a half or you really took the flyer and the game gets rained out. Like, how bad are you talking about Black Cloud play of the night? You just have to get the game in at this point. It's bad enough you're fighting the worst record in baseball, an offense that's ranked at the bottom of every offensive category, and now Mother Nature comes in and says, uh-oh, you really thought you were going to get to the window with the first 5? You took a shot with the White Sox in the first 5? Not so fast. Betting baseball's tough.
Oh,
it's a hard gig right there. Yeah.
Not even the first 5. You know, sometimes these books will cash first 5 and then it'd be a rain delay and whatever. You can't even cash that. Oh, my God, that would be tough. That would be tough. That would be like, wow. Yeah. All right, San Diego and the Angels starting first pitch here in a couple seconds. Adam Mazur pitching for the Padres, making his major league debut tonight. He was 4-3 ERA, around 4 in 10 starts between double and triple A ball. San Diego is desperate. They just put Yu Darvish on IR. They put one other pitcher on IR, so that you and I can be pitching for the Padres these days. Patrick Sandoval goes for the Angels. He stinks. Angels 3-8 in his 11 starts this year. San Diego did, like I said, lost last night, so I get a feeling the Padres are going to win tonight, even with the kid making his major league debut, who we've seen, guys make their debuts pitch actually fairly well.
I love taking guys on their debut. It was one of those situations where I think, years and years on the other side of the counter, you'd watch people just blindly bet it because it was their first start. And I feel like the books just sat there and took the bets, and it seemed like it worked out more than it didn't. Padres got the third best record in baseball on the road behind the two American League teams, the Yankees and the Orioles. So
wow,
you're getting they got a really good road record, and it's one of those situations where you go, okay, we're about even. We're some places right now. Now it's funny. I just clicked refresh on my odds screen, and two of the places in Vegas just moved to the Padres, the favorite. So someone getting ready to make a move waited for the late play and just played the Padres for a significant amount of money. So, wow. Home plate, play at the plate, collision a little bit for the Phillies, and the runner is out for the Brewers.
Ugh.
So we don't get the run. We don't get the run. He's out. He's out. Yeah. This is one of those situations.
It's been the first time in the history of baseball, team has had a runner thrown out the plate in back-to-back games, and it's got to be with me on them. I mean, how often does that happen? Never. Never.
It's first and third now, 2 out, so you can sweat that. You need a 2-out base hit from the Brewers to get.
I got to get a run.
Oh yeah,
I'm doomed if I don't get the run, because then the Phillies will score one run. That'll be it. It'll go under.
What's better
Seattle
than a home team walk-off to cover the run line? You want to talk about a fun baseball? Oh, right? I've heard noises come out of grown men in a sports book. When that happens, there's a great joy in that. And, that would leave you hope with that. If we got to get the Phillies, we'll see. I'll
Bryce
keep you
Harper,
abreast.
2-run homer. Got to see who's batting that? For them. That's a possibility.
Could happen.
As well as he's batting.
Yeah.
San Fran and Arizona starting here shortly. I don't really like this game. San Fran's one of those quirky teams. They actually win when they really shouldn't. I mean, Kyle Harrison versus Blake Walston. Giants have lost 5 in a row. They are 8-1. I know our guy Rob, who was on earlier, didn't like them, but they are 8-1 in Harrison's last 9 starts, believe it or not, which is very, you wouldn't picture that. He's 4-2. He's, a decent pitcher. So, stay away game for me.
Yeah, one of those situations where, again, I mean, he made a good case for them, and especially, this was the one where he looked at the first 5, right?
Right, yeah.
I like looking at
over
pitcher's
Arizona.
history. Right, yeah. I like looking at a pitcher's history against certain teams in these situations, or success by the team when this pitcher starts. Like right now, and we'll talk about it again tomorrow, but like Skeen's pitching for the Pirates. The lineup hits. Andrew McCutchen has homered in every one of Skeen's starts. That Harrison number 8-1 is more than just a coincidence. So I don't want to say it's a blind bet, but it's one of those things I think you have to consider.
My favorite game of the night, Seattle at Oakland. Kirby versus our boy Spence. We talked about Spence, right? Mariners playing better. 7-1 their last 8. But Seattle is 0-6 in Kirby's last 6 road starts. Strong under trends, Dave. We got Seattle under 6-1 last 7 versus a right-handed pitcher. Oakland 6-1 under last 7 versus a right-handed pitcher. Spence is from Washington, so he probably grew up a Seattle fan, not Washington, D.C., but the state of Washington. And Seattle pitching has been unbelievable of late. 19 straight scoreless innings over their last 3 starts by their starting pitchers. So they've been an under machine this year, one of the better under teams in baseball. I'm thinking maybe Seattle wins 2-1, and this kid Spence strikes out about 7 in his debut against his former team. Well, not former team, but team that he probably grew up rooting for.
Black Cow play of the night. You and I do it.
Over 4.5.
It's your play
Yep.
every Tuesday, every Wednesday. The last segment before the hour of the first hour of the show, which starts at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. You got me excited to watch Spence pitch. Let's just get case. I'm not. You pick a side, you pick a total, do whatever you want. I'm getting narrow-minded, focused, laser focused on one thing. 2 Ks in the first inning. There it is. Look at that graphic. Black Cloud play of the night. Mitch Spence over 4.5 Ks. Exclusively, I will dare say that no one else is on this in the content space, on SportsGrid, on any other network. I don't know if there's any bets on this in the book other than yours.
My $10 bet is probably moving the line. It probably bumped it from 126 to 136. That's how few people are probably betting on this thing. Now I got to double my bet because the Dodgers lost, so I got to push the envelope here. Well, 2 big bets were Dodgers in this one, so now I got to make sure I cover my Dodger and win a couple of shekels.
I want to prep you before we go to break. The Phillies just led off the bottom of the 10th with a double, and the run scored from second. So it's 2-1 final. Wrap. Couldn't get the other run. Wetzel, I don't even know how to say it. I just had to tell you. Rip the Band-Aid off. That's it. 2-1. Under 3.5.
Probably bounced, about a foot from going, off the wall, too. About a foot away from being a 2-run homer.
Just for the record, it bounced off the wall.
Naturally.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan on this Tuesday, which the Phillies win 2-1. Not 3-1. No, not 4-1. Nope. 2-1. 2-1. And about that far away from winning 3-1, Cam Stewart, as he joins us now.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Sounds like all you need is a colonoscopy, Wetzel. Not your night.
Yeah.
Welcome to betting. We have those roller coaster rides. Well, it's kind of like watching the Blue Jays. Would you rather go see the doctor? They're losing 10-1 to Baltimore. Dude, I got a bet for you, Wetzel. Bing John Stud, end of the series, there or not. Dave, we've been talking about this for a while. Like, like something's got to give. Like, it's over. Like, exactly. Wave the towel. Like, this is not like I'm watching these games. It's not even competitive. Like, Baltimore's just coming in here and like it's like these guys, they're slapping this team around. Just bet Baltimore. Another series win for these guys. And I'll tell you, if Baltimore was smart, they'd lock up Corbin Burns. Remember when he signed that 1-year deal? Just sign him up, man. You got the bats on this team. Don't be stupid. They should have gone for a longer deal, but I know they wanted to be safe, but don't be cheap. Just sign up the guy. You already got like some of the best young hitters in the game. Like they were taking these guys out to the woodshed. What do we got, Scott? I'm not your doctor. I'm going to give you some good news. No colonoscopy today.
Good.
What did I have? I forget what I had. I had an ultrasound today. Yeah, it sucked where they put the jelly on you and then just check you.
Yep.
Anyway, I got enough problems too. So let's hit winners. My favorite league, the WNBA.
The ultrasound? Were you pregnant?
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Just let's leave the diagnosis to the doctor. Anyway, I might have a bladder and stomach problem, but that's story for another day. Let's talk about gambling before I'm not going to be here anymore. Let's say we got the WNBA tonight. I got a parlay for you. This is better than Scott Wetzel's dark cloud. Let's part the skies, rainbows,
be careful.
Little leprechauns. Give me the Seattle Storm on the money line parlayed with Alex Zverev in the French Open tomorrow plus 105. That's what I'm doing, and I'm also taking Zverev, Scott, on the spread line minus 4.5 against Alex de Minaur, the Australian who has made it the farthest he's ever gone. This Zverev guy from Germany, I've watched him, just an absolute grinder, was down in his match to Holger Rune, the tough man from Denmark, but watching a lot of French Open tennis. What do we got tonight? We got Oakland A's baseball and we got tennis tomorrow. So that's what I got for you guys. I'm already on the Chicago Sky live. I got 5.5 when they were down, and it's a real tight game against New York Liberty tonight. There we go.
I will say this, though, Cam. I don't know if you know, but Seattle's best player is out tonight. That's why that line dropped from 8 to 5.5. I can't even pronounce her name.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. That all-star girl. You know, she's wicked. Seattle.
Yeah.
And you know what,
19
Wetzel,
points a game.
I'm a little bit worried, too, because Seattle is coming home off that road trip where they're very successful. They smoked Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. They've been a very hot team. Dana Taurasi had, I think, 31 in the last game for the Phoenix Mercury. See, Dave, like, we cover every league here on this station. This isn't your regular sports station here. We're grinding with the WNBA. So Phoenix could be the play, Scott, but one thing is, now that line's gone down so much, I got to bite. And maybe it's a big mistake, but I like to put it in a plus money parlay. And I'm going to take my shot with the Seattle Storm. They've won 4 in a row, and they're playing pretty good basketball right now. But this could be a trap spot. But I feel really good about the tennis, though, tomorrow. I like the favorites parlay tomorrow. Sabalenka, she should get it done as well. So basically, I'm looking at the ladies. Maybe Coco Gauff, she advanced, but she's got to play Iga Swiatek, one of the best players in the world, the number 1 seed. But that's in a day or two. So we'll talk about that down the line. And I got golf picks for you guys tomorrow from the Memorial Jack Nicklaus's tournament. Close again, Scott, with Tom Kim, but close when he counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Very close. Had a piece of McIntyre in a matchup bet, but nice story for McIntyre, but I didn't have money on him. And right now, money's more important than a lot of things. We need a winner this week. None of this top 10 crap.
Cam, did you hear the Chris Knobloch, the coach of the Oilers today, talking about
with the Buffalo Bills?
So, he had a quote that said, you can ask the Buffalo Bills how important Super Bowl experience is. I couldn't wait to see you because I'm like, wait a second. How are the Bills catching strays in the Stanley Cup Finals from the Edmonton hockey coach? What'd you think about that?
I didn't like it one bit. I didn't like it one bit. And I'm not a Bills guy, but stay in your lane, Knobloch. Like, honestly, talk hockey. Don't bring the Bills into anything in a press conference. They have enough misery. Leave these people alone. Leave the gamblers alone. Leave the good people of Cheektowaga, Tonawanda, and Lackawanna alone.
They just want to live their damn lives, get through the summer, and wait for the Buffalo Bills this year, probably to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. Enough is enough. Like, come on, guys. Like, why is everyone picking on Buffalo all the time? I should actually,
all the time.
I should be living there, Dave. I defend that damn city and that area more than anybody. I stay at their casinos. When our dollar's worth 58 cents, I still give to the community. That's all I do is play blackjack and give and give and give to the good people of Western New York.
He could have taken a shot at Toronto, too, right? He could have said, how was the experience helping the Maple Leafs every single year?
Exactly. Right? Instead, he goes to the Bills. Boo words. That is not cool with me. Not cool at all. But anyway, guys, let's do it. Let's hit it tonight. Let's hit a parlay. Let's hit the tennis, Dave. Watch out. I'm telling you, this French Open stuff's great. Great live betting sport, by the way, too. You take players that are down. I was really hoping that Djokovic would have hit a couple shots because I bet against him, but it was a walkover, so he was really banged up, but more power to him. He would have lost if he played today, but if he hit one ball, then we would have probably got our money, right? Or maybe in certain books it has to go a certain amount of time. But anyway, you knew he was beat down. But watch out. I'm telling you, the Zverev guy, Davey's a favorite, but I'm putting him in a lot of parlays. I really like the matchup.
You going to fall for the Skeens tomorrow, Cam?
Of course I am.
Pittsburgh Pirates
I
are favored on the overnight line tomorrow against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Okay? Well, and I just clicked refresh.
They beat them already.
Minus
the
110.
You already bet the Pirates? What do you? Of course, Dave. The Dodgers. Like, people are betting the Dodgers. Like, what? Like they're going to win the game. This team is actually just not really. Like, you have to lay crazy numbers with these guys. I'm telling you, Dave. This team has been brutal. I'm going to go on a little hot streak with the Cincinnati Reds. They're just going to be. This is my team for a while. They've won a few in a row. They're going to actually catch fire and go like hot. Everyone's down on them. They're going to mop up the Rockies tonight. I'm on them again. Let's rock. Cincinnati Reds. They're the team that's going to make a move. You got to jump on some bad teams. That's what I'm saying. What's a good luck with
once
your
in a while
tonight in Oakland? Hope you get 5 Ks. Sounds like you've had a bad night. Can't blame you.
Oh, for Mitch Spence strikeouts, Cam. That's our little tip for you. Oakland A's tonight.
Go for it. Go Wetzel.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back InGame Live, Prime Time here. Cam Stewart, nice job of joining us, as he always does, and takes over at the top of the hour. Him and Gabe Morency for the next 3 on SportsGrid Radio, SportsGrid TV. You know, Dave, you brought up Skeens. He is pitching tomorrow, and believe it or not, they got props out already on FanDuel, which is amazing. So you can not only bet on, obviously, whether they're going to win or lose, you can bet on a strikeout total already. It's 7.5. And they got adjusted numbers as well, as they do with all these pitchers. His outs, you know, how many outs is he going to get? 16.5, which means he's got to get through, you know, basically into the 7th inning. And then also the velocity of his first pitch.
Wow.
Under 99, or, you know, there's 4 different categories. Under 99, 99 to 100, 100.1 to 101, or 101 or higher, or, over 101. So it's like, holy fudge. They're really trying to capitalize on this kid, huh?
This is what happens, right? And again, there's a lot of good things that happen with the advent of legal sports wagering, but this index pricing stuff, it's not for me. It's too much. And, you know, you're going to be separated by 1/10 of a mile per hour and win or lose a bet. I don't know.
And who's going to say really what it was?
Stuff, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
Right. Who's going to really know? I mean, I know it's going to be by radar, but, you know, when it comes in, you know, 100 and not 100.1, and you lose your bet because you said it was going to be 100.1 or high. I mean, you know, it's so many, like, you really, you know, it's like betting on a coin toss in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, it's too much.
That's, I mean, and what if he throws a breaking ball? They're 89.
Yeah.
And everything goes under. Like, I don't know. This is where we get into the theoretical discussion of, do you have to put lines up on everything? Do you have to bet on everything? I don't think so. But, you know, the companies that provide the numbers, the books, obviously want to take bets. The business is all about volume. Totally understand all of that. I actually was in Pittsburgh at the Pirates and Yankees game two summers ago, and doing some work for the Pirates and a pregame show and all this other stuff. And I was given the app and shown there was betting on every pitch. There was betting on the speed of every pitch. And I was like, this is incredible. Wow. I don't know. I mean, you have an 8-second window, to get a bet in. You couldn't even get nachos at the game. Like, if you were going to go eat nachos and you wanted to make a bet, you missed it. The market's open, closed, open, closed. I'd rather just bet the other stuff, like that you have some sort of life to it. I mean, part of the fun of betting is obviously you try to win as more bets than you lose. But if it's over in 6 seconds and you can't even get a bet in, the frustration level as a bettor, don't you hate when we're even doing in-game live and you can't get a bet in?
Yeah, when they lock you out and you got to get verified, because they don't have your location and all that. Yeah, the worst. But I tell you, Dave, I take the train in the city, to work all the time. And game days, whether it's Knicks or Rangers or Islanders, all the fans from Long Island are going to the games. And I sit there in amazement. I see parents talking about putting in same-game parlays. I hear kids talking about putting in, what was their parlay of the night. I hear women putting in parlays and different bets that they have. I mean, it is remarkable how many people are betting now. I mean, it is expanding, and I guess they like all this goofy stuff. I mean, I like it, but there is a big part of it that's like, this is just too much. I don't need to see betting commercials. I don't need to have the announcers talk about, how many shots on goal team's going to get. You can bet over under 8.5. I don't like that, to tell you the truth.
It's very much everywhere, and I think you just have to make prudent decisions. You have to, gamble responsibly. You have to know what you want to play on. I think you have to have a dedicated bankroll. There's so many things. I mean, we could do a whole TED Talk on it. We can go do a course. I'd love to. I've actually done a lot of that stuff on a lot of different shows and gone, yeah, you can wager, but you have to know where you could go bad too. So,
right.
Betting on speed of first pitch, maybe take a pass. But look at the K prop. Yeah. The K prop?
7.5. What do you think? Over? 17 outs. I kind of like the out props a little bit more than the K props now.
Oh.
How many outs can he pitch? Can he get to the 7th inning?
All he's got to do is get through 6, right? That gets us home.
Yeah.
I'll be in pirate gear tomorrow, boys. Just letting you know.
There you go.
100%.
There you go.
Might get a mustard.
That's not a day game, right? That's a night game?
Night game.
Not a day games tomorrow. Night game, good. All right, there you go. That'll be our focus tomorrow. All right, boys, we'll talk to you again. Good job, everybody.